Hi everyone, my name is Bridget and welcome to my channel. So today's message is about self-anger, but before I begin, I'd just like to clarify that I do not believe in religion. I believe in God and Jesus Christ, and that Jesus Christ came to show us a way to peace and abundance for all. The hidden anger we carry towards ourselves. Today I want to speak about something God recently revealed to me on my journey with Him. Something I did not fully realize I was still carrying deep within myself. Anger towards myself. Not anger for great failures, not anger for terrible sins, but anger for small things, silly things, human things. And what God showed me was that many of us are walking around carrying hidden frustration towards ourselves without even knowing it. We punish ourselves internally for not being perfect. We replay moments in our mistakes. We become our own accuser. But one thing I am learning on this walk with God is this. God corrected us, but He does not hate us. That spirit of constant self-condemnation is not the voice of God, because when I studied the teachings of Jesus Christ, I noticed something powerful. Jesus always spoke truth, but He did not crush them. He lifted them, and many of us are harder on ourselves than Jesus ever was towards people. God showed me that I had been holding anger towards myself for things I should have released long ago. Moments where I didn't know better, moments where I was still wounded, moments where I was still learning and yet somehow expected myself to have perfect wisdom while still walking through the confusion. How many of us do that? We expect perfection from a version of ourselves that was still trying to survive, and then we punish ourselves for it. But Jesus taught something very different. In John 8 verse 7 to 11, when the woman caught in adultery was brought before Him, everyone around her wanted condemnation. Everyone wanted judgment. Everyone wanted punishment. But Jesus responded differently in John 8 verse 7. He who is without sin among you, let him throw a stone at her first. And one by one they walked away. Then Jesus looked at her and said in John 8 verse 11, Neither do I condemn you. Go and sin no more. Notice this carefully. Jesus acknowledged the wrongdoing, but removed the condemnation. This is important because many people think God changes you through shame. But Jesus showed us that transformation happens through love and awareness. And I realized something. Sometimes we continue throwing stories at ourselves long after God already put the stories down. We keep reopening old wounds. We keep replaying old failures. We keep speaking against ourselves. But God is saying, why are you fighting someone I am trying to heal? One of the greatest traps of the enemy is convincing people they are unworthy of grace. That you must learn love, earn peace, earn forgiveness. But grace was never something humanity could earn. That is why it is called grace. On my journey with God, I am learning that healing requires honesty, and honesty means admitting when you have become your own source of suffering. Sometimes the greatest battle is not against the world. It is against the voice within yourself that constantly says, you should have done better, you should have already been healed, you should already have it all figured out. But God reminded me that growth is a process. Even the disciples struggled while walking beside Jesus Himself. Peter the apostle doubted, Thomas the apostle doubted, the disciples feared. They misunderstood teachings, they made mistakes. Yet Jesus continued teaching them patiently. And maybe some of us today need to stop measuring ourselves by perfection and start measuring ourselves by awareness. Because awareness is the beginning of transformation. The moment God reveals something hidden within you, it is not to shame you, it is to free you. The enemy exposes your weakness to condemn you. God reveals your weakness to heal you. There is a difference. And the one thing Jesus taught repeatedly was forgiveness. Not just forgiveness towards others, but understanding mercy itself. When Jesus was hanging on the cross after being mocked, beaten, betrayed, he still said in Luke 23 verse 34, "Forgive them, Father, for they know not what they do." That teaching goes deeper than many realize, because humanity often acts from unconsciousness, pain, fear, conditioning, and spiritual blindness, including ourselves. And maybe part of self-forgiveness is realizing there were versions of you that truly did not know any better. That version of you was wounded. That version of you was afraid. That version of you was still searching for God. So why continue hating someone God was patiently guiding all along? God showed me that anger towards yourself blocks peace, because internally you remain at war with your own soul. And many people are asking God for peace while still attacking themselves daily through their thoughts. But peace begins when the war within ends. Jesus said in Matthew 5 verse 7, "Blessed are the merciful, for they shall obtain mercy." And sometimes we must learn to extend that mercy inward. Not to avoid accountability, not to justify wrong actions, but to stop living under condemnation. There is a difference between conviction and condemnation. Conviction says this needs healing. Condemnation says you are beyond healing. God convicts, the enemy condemns. And today I can honestly say that one of the lessons God is teaching me is how to stop carrying anger towards myself for being human, while learning how to walk with Him. Because spirituality is not about becoming perfect overnight. It is about becoming conscious. Conscious of your thoughts, conscious of your wounds, conscious of your patterns, conscious of where God is trying to transform you. And the beautiful thing is this: the moment you become aware, healing can begin. So if anyone listening today is carrying hidden anger towards themselves, I want you to remember this. God is not asking you to hate yourself into transformation. He is asking you to surrender, to trust that He can heal what you cannot heal alone. And maybe today your prayer does not need to be, "God, make me perfect." Maybe the prayer is simply, "God, help me have mercy on myself while you are still shaping me." Because the truth is, we are all still being shaped. So, as you can see, this is a continuous journey that you go on, and God reveals things about you during this time. And it's up to you whether you are going to look at it negatively or say, "Thank you, God, for showing me my shadow." So wishing everyone a magical day and much love. God bless.